Hey friends, Wayne over here at the Ram Man. Here's some helpful information that may save you some time, money, and some grief. What I wanted to talk to you about real quick is, one of our most popular kits. Basically, it's a rear disc brake kit. Now, it fits the Chevrolets and the Fords, but most people know. So, basically, what we're looking at is rear disc brake kit for a Dodge, the older Dodges. Remember, them disc brakes came out on Dodges around about 2000, 2001, depending on the model. And we sell a shitload of rear disc brake kits for the Dodges. But our normal kit that's been out there for years, that uses a full-size rotor and a great big old caliper. Remember, we use that factory rotor off them early 2000s Dodge, so it's not some funky-ass rotor. It's a factory Dodge rotor. Here's one right here. That's what we use. And we use, of course, they're all new. We use those first generation Cadillac calipers with the built-in emergency brakes like that. Remember these? Cadillac was the first. Ford tried it in 74 and 75, right? Mahle Chrysler tried it on the Imperial 74, 75. Neither one of them worked out real well and had real problems. The first people that really hit the rear disc brake caliper and kit with the parking brake built in was Cadillac, and they did it in bicentennial. They did it in 1976. Cadillac is the people that perfected the rear disc brake caliper with the integral parking brake. So the first generation, what they did when they came out with the rear disc brakes in 76 on those big old four-door Coupe de Villes and all that stuff, they really didn't know a whole lot of it. Nobody really knew a whole lot about rear disc brakes. And so what they did was they took that caliper basically from the front with that big old 3-inch piston, redesigned it so it'd bolt up in the back, and they added the parking brake onto it, so you had great big old calipers in the front and in the back. Basically the same size. They were the same size. If you notice today, and since then, every vehicle that you've ever seen has smaller brakes in the back, smaller caliper, smaller rotor, because you just don't need that much force in the back because of the weight distribution and the weight transfer into the front. So they do what's necessary, but not overboard. What they found out after 4 or 5 years was these things stopped so fucking good, pardon me, and the calipers were so powerful. In the early 80s, mid-80s, they downgraded to the second generation caliper. This caliper is a little bit smaller, and it was used on all the Cadillacs in the mid-80s up. And so, got a first gen, great big one, and then second gen right here. So that's the history and the story. That's real quick how this developed. Now, just our rear disc kit that we've been selling for years, and we sell a shitload of them. I'll tell you, we do hubs, we do all these things, but when it comes to the rear disc brake kits on these Dodges and Fords or whatever, more people call us or email us and tell us about how badass it is than any other single thing that we sell. I'm going to repeat that. More people call us up or send us an email. Thank God it's badass. I'm a landscaper. I pull a 7,000-pound trailer all the time. I can stop now. I used to fucking scratch my balls because I was so scared. Guy called me up. Runs around with a Bobcat, little steer, skid steer, whatever, tells me, Wayne, you're not going to believe this. I put your kit on and my braking distance is cut in half from 50. It's half the distance. So, but yeah, so we get a lot of good feedback. But anyway, but that is designed and always has been, it will just barely fit underneath that 17-inch wheel. It'll just barely clear that 17-inch wheel. So everybody up until now, and here we are, we're into February 2025. So all these hundreds of kits that we sold, hundreds, first thing we told them was you got to have 17-inch wheels. And, you know, them 90s Dodges, a lot of them had 16-inch wheels. There's one of them right here. Got this out to show people. Here's a 16-inch wheel. So, for the last 10 years or so, anybody didn't have 17-inch wheels, we told them that we couldn't help them. Shit out of luck. And I'm going to tell you what, we sent away a lot of disappointed people. So, this winter I decided to tackle that problem. I finally had a guy said, I want one, I need one, I don't give a shit if it's 2 months, I don't care, but I need you to do this for me. So I decided to tackle it. So we were able to do it. We had to take the factory rotor, we thinned him up just a little bit so that he'll fit in a 2nd gen caliper. And, of course, a lot of people don't know it, but our rear disc brake kits, because of the uniqueness of the caliper plate and the way that it's set up, it's very simple. This is really fast to do. I want you guys to see this. So, it just bolts on with a set of special spacers. And you do not have to take the axle out. You don't have to even take the hub off. You don't have to do any of that Mickey Mouse stuff to install our rear disc brake kit. I think it's probably the only one in the world. I'm going to repeat that. You do not have to pull the axle. You don't even have to take the hub off. Because you can bolt up this plate just barely. Once you get your drum brakes and your backing plate off, you can bolt this bad boy up from the inside. So that's one of the big old pluses to it. And when you bolt it up, it basically sits in this 2 o'clock position. So the caliper's up out of the way. It's up out of the mud, up out of a lot of the rain and the water. Like I said, it's in that 2 o'clock position. You see it right here. And, of course, it's just a second, we use that 2nd gen Cadillac GM caliper. And now I'm just showing you how easy this is. You bolt on your plate, and I couldn't find the other one. So here we are, we're looking at this right from the back of the truck, right this passenger side, right-hand side. So we ought to have a right-hand caliper. Well, I ain't got a right-hand caliper. Remember, your bleeder's got to be on the top no matter what. That's how you tell instantaneous where it goes. Your bleeder's got to be on the top. And if you notice, there's my bleeder right there. And so if I put it on like this, I'm just showing you the fitment. The bleeder's on the bottom. So that's obviously a left-hand caliper. But you guys get the point. So that's all you do. Bolt on the bracket, take your crap off, your drum brake, slide that factory rotor on right there, and here's your caliper and your 2 pieces. Slide that caliper on. That's literally how quick this is. Screw them down, and voila, that sumbitch is installed. There it is. That's as easy as it can be. And so, with the smaller caliper, this thing fits easily under all 16-inch wheels. This contraption right here fits easily around all 16-inch wheels. So that basically covers all those trucks from the 90s. There it is right there. There it is, bolted up. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can show you guys something. Kind of hard to do by yourself, but shit. If we can figure it out, we'll figure it out, right? So, let me take these two little nuts off real quick, holding this rotor on. As far as, yeah, I don't believe that there's anybody in the world, no, can't be. I don't believe that there's anybody in the world that has a rear disc brake kit for the Dana 60s, the 70s, or the 80s. Remember, flange distance is the same on these things. Same kit, basically. Same kit, might be a minute difference in the spacers, but the same kit fits a 60, a 70, or an 80. Now, like I said, you'll just have to trust me. Pulled one of our 16-inch wheels out of the barn. So, this is going to be a game changer for people that want to put a rear disc brake kit on their truck with 16-inch wheels. There it is, my friends. You got quite a bit of clearance. I hope you can see that. So, it ain't like it's rubbing. It ain't like you got a quarter of an inch to play with. So it will clear basically any 16-inch wheel, no matter what the depth is, how wide it is, or what the manufacturer is. Because, like I said, our other kit, it just barely clears. You can get in about 10 sheets of paper, but that's what we got. So, hope that helps you out. I hope that is good news for a lot of people. So, if you've got a 60, 70, or 80 axle with a 16-inch wheels, you now have a badass rear disc brake kit that will bolt straight up. New rotors, brand new No, we don't send rebuilt shit from our calipers. Both designs, Gen 1 and Gen 2, are brand new calipers that we have made. They're brand new. And, you know, just like on your drum brake, your emergency brake cable comes through here. That's where your little retaining ring goes right there. You got your little barrel on the end of the cable. You know, you got your little barrel that sits in there on your lever. So, you hook it right up here in this groove. So, you can hook that up. Some instances, most people don't know this, that barrel's just soldered on the end. So, you can shorten that distance just by melting that solder and sliding that barrel up and then resoldering it or brazing. You can, that's all you got to do to effectively get your parking brake going. Or if you don't want to hook it up, I guess you don't have to. Some states, they don't care and they don't check. Parking brakes are kind of cool, but once again, it's up to you. So there you go. I'm pretty proud of it. It's the only one in the world that I know of. And so, voila, rear disc brake kit, 60, 70, and 80, 16-inch wheels. God bless you. God bless America. God bless the armed forces of the USA, being a disabled vet myself. Bye.